Everybody. So I did not do my normal lives. First of all, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you've been here before, I do a lot of lives and I've been in the middle of doing every sign for Mercury retrograde. But today I had some bad allergies. I had a bad allergy attack. Um, and it really just took me out. I had to go and get some allergy medicine. And yet still I still have a migraine in my eyes. But, I have been thinking about y'all, thinking about what kind of content to do next for you, what y'all want to see once the Mercury retrograde readings are over. And, yeah, I thought I would come on here and talk about authenticity because, I have definitely in my lifetime been in many scenarios where I was not living my truth. And that is when I went to college, in relationships, in friendships, the way I was showing up, um, in jobs. I have had a lot of different scenarios where I wasn't being honest with myself about what my wants, needs, and desires are. And now, as a Pisces sun, it is somewhat of a thing that Pisces do sometimes. That we are known for being the martyrs and just kind of sacrificing ourselves and our needs. So, for any of you out there who are doing something for the sake of someone else, or you're not living your truth, or you're staying in a relationship because you don't want to hurt someone, or because you don't want to be real with yourself about whether or not you're happy in a situation, in a scenario. And you got to be real with yourself because you will have a tower moment if you don't. That's when tower moments come in. They come in to basically put you in a position of surrender. The tower comes in and it says like the tower card is Scorpio energy, which is the agent of change. And it's actually the Tower of Babel. If you look up the story, and I talk about it on here all the time, it was not meant to be there. The story goes that God destroyed the tower because the tower card, you'll see people like jumping out of a tower that's on fire. And that is such great symbology for what, we're talking about when living in our truth or trying to hold things together when you know that if you just let it fall apart, that you can rebuild because that's not your truth. So if there's anything in your life that maybe you're putting too much effort in to hold it together, maybe the truth is that you don't really want to do it, that you don't really want it anymore, that it doesn't make you happy, that something else is on the horizon for you, that you're staying or doing something out of fear, obligation, or because you don't know anything else. Well, that's not the way, my friends. And God does not want you to do that. Whatever you believe in, your gods, your angels, your guides always want what's for your highest good. And sometimes that means destruction. So, yeah, and I have had so much upheaval in my life because I held on to people, places, and things. I've literally hurt myself. I've had injuries. You get headaches, you get stomach aches. And in the spiritual world, when your health is bad, that is a huge sign that your subconscious is telling you what's going on here. That stress comes from somewhere. It doesn't just manifest out of nowhere. So, it's really important to take heed of these types of things in your life and to really look at the hard truth because sometimes it means that you have to move. And where am I going to go and where am I going to live? And sometimes, it means that you have to go back to school. And sometimes it means that you have to be single again or have to get divorced or, whatever the case may be for you. Or sometimes it even means that you have to speak up. Like I see a lot of people in the comments asking me, does Kevin, does Larry, does Joe, does Marissa, does Michelle like me? Did you ask them? Did you tell them? Radical honesty. It's like that rom-com movie where two people just they it's so obvious that they like one another, but they're too afraid to speak up, and you miss out on an opportunity because you were living in fear, you weren't living in authenticity, you know. So and sometimes we just go through with things because we don't want to hurt other people's feelings. So hey, you guys, what is it for you? If you were totally honest with yourself, would you be doing what you're doing right now? And if not, what are the changes that you can make today to avoid the catastrophe that will ensue from you chasing after or pursuing the things, people, places, and things that you know that you shouldn't be? And I know for me, it's always about trying to meet societal expectations. The thing that I want to do is too weird, or I'm supposed to go to college and that's what I'm supposed to do. I did college. And you know where that landed me? A whole lot of student loans. So, and sometimes we look at our natal chart or we look at our human design chart and it tells us that actually we're meant to be doing something completely different. If I didn't have that voice in my head of my mother or my father, would I be doing that thing? And yeah, so I don't know. God doesn't want you to settle. Your angels don't want you to settle. And it's scary. It's scary when you have to like face the facts of those things, because what does it mean? What does it really mean? And what does it look like to live in my truth? And a lot of the times you don't even know it yourself. A lot of the times that we live in Delulu land. And what I mean by that is that we don't go deep into our subconscious awareness. We don't go deep into it. And, it's just a certain amount of, I don't want to say lies, but we're just living under the idea that things will get better if we continue with the status quo. But what if it doesn't? So so yeah, and it's hard because I know every day we're not, any kind of religion that you have will tell you it's not good to lie. It's not good to lie. But we forget to mention um, about lying to ourselves, about being dishonest with ourselves. We have to be honest with ourselves because at the end of the day, you're all you have. You have to rely on yourself. You have to be able to look in the mirror with integrity and be like, do I really have it in me to continue doing this? I know, and there's a lot of talk on the internet about autistic people or neurodivergent people who are masking, but we all do that, and we all do that to a degree. So there is a level of having to be someone that we're not to get around, but that will eat at you. It eats at your soul a little bit more and more to not show up authentically. And let's get some cards on it, guys. I was saying before that I wasn't feeling hella good because I had bad allergies. My cat's in the chair. So, but let's pull some cards on it. Let's see. I hope y'all are doing well tonight. Hopefully feeling better than me. And the lighting is not great, guys, but this is an impromptu. Okay. There once was a time when I wanted to be in a band, and I did that, and it was not right. But I went after my dreams and I did it. Let's pull some cards on it. Let's see what for the collective. Anyone living in truth. So Ace of Cups. So a lot of you guys, Ace of Cups, there is something new and more emotionally fulfilling on the horizon. For some of you, it could be love. Yeah, for some of you guys, it's a love offer that you've been waiting on, right? And this doesn't have to be a specific person. I am seeing the Six of Cups, so we're in retrograde right now. And sometimes you have to be real that, maybe that person's not coming back. Maybe that person's not right for me. Maybe there's something better on the horizon. That's really a tough one because I know a lot of the times we think that there's something wrong with us if someone doesn't want us for who we are, but that's not what it is. You know, it's that that person's not right for you. So there, for some of you, there could be some new love on the horizon. And I know that a lot of the times we'll be tested with that, right? We're tested with these people who maybe we're not supposed to be with. And yeah, exactly. The devil and the world. This is releasing the devil because the world is starting something new. It's completing a cycle, 100% completing the cycle so that you can, and it's in a celebratory fashion. It's not like completing the cycle and feeling bad and feeling sad. No, it's like, I've done that. I've completed that karmic cycle and I no longer have that toxic attachment. I don't really like seeing the devil when it comes in love readings. To me, that's a trauma bond or it's an unhealthy attachment. So sometimes we have to be honest with ourselves that the thing that we're holding on to isn't really good for us. And this new cycle, you guys, we're going to be releasing karmic contracts. I've been saying this a lot in all my videos because we're in the year number 9, and this is the world card. This is the end, the last card of the tarot deck. And it's the end because, you know, we're at the end of the year. So we're having to realize, like, what is it that I've been holding on to? What is it that I've been waiting to come to me that maybe isn't so healthy? So, you know, releasing karmic attachments, realizing that, you know, sometimes it's better to be single, but I do feel like there could be a potential for something more harmonizing. The Ace of Cups doesn't have to be love. It certainly is at least something that's more emotionally fulfilling. There's something more emotionally fulfilling out there for you, something that's more balanced with Libra. We have Libra here, we have the justice balance, balancing the scale. And for some of you guys, it's just a matter of taking the leap and having the faith. We have the Fool. I love it because literally we had the World, which is the end, and then the Fool, which is the beginning. This is the very first card of the tarot. Hi there. Yeah, we're just talking. We're just talking. We're talking about authenticity and what is that we're releasing at the end of this year. Because the Fool is a leap, but it's a leap of faith. It's having trust in the unknown, you know, because in the Rider-Waite, the Fool card is with a little dog. Like it's the Fool is a hitchhiker and they have a little knapsack and they have a dog. So they go into the unknown. The Fool goes on the Fool's journey with its dog into the unknown. So I'm not saying, you know, go into the unknown like a fool. I am saying don't be afraid. Take the leap to end these things that, you know, aren't supposed to be there. I'm surprised I'm not seeing the Tower. See if we can get an oracle card. We have, this is Oracle of the Seven Energies. Y'all doing out there? Oracle of the Seven Energies. Time machine. Yeah, I know. I feel like some of you guys, there's this energy of wishing that you could go back and redo things. But, you know, the future is now, and we have to embrace the future, the things that we have now. Bearing fruit. So whatever it is that we have bearing fruit and earth magic, to me, this is like where whatever you water is going to bloom, is going to blossom. And the storyteller, you know, it's time to write yourself another story. Because you are, after all, you're the author. You are the main character of your life. So water the seeds of what's right in front of you. And we can't go back in time and we can't go forward, but we can water the seeds right in front of us. And I know that there's this theory in quantum theory, quantum physics, where when you make small changes today, it actually changes the past. So you can look it up. I don't know. But basically, when you make changes for yourself today, it allows you this certain like reflection of the past. So it's not like things didn't happen that way. No, it's just now that you look back on it. Well, I'm not that same person and I've made changes. So it allows you to, hindsight is 2020. You can see things differently now that you're making changes for the better. Like, oh, that had to happen that way. I had to stay in that situation and feel the growing pains to realize where I was meant to go. And that's 100%. And that's why they say hindsight is 2020, because you can't see the forest for the trees. And it's never good to like feel bad about the decisions that you've made. You can't go back in time. But you can focus on the now and move forward. And I feel like the thing is that, that's the reason that people stay in things that they're not meant to stay in until, they can no longer, is, the Nine of Swords, which is fears, anxiety, sleepless nights, and this is what I'm talking about. Like when we're not living our truth, if we're in a bad relationship or if we're in a bad job, if we're not doing what we're meant to be doing, you could have sleepless nights, you could have anxiety. The stress of that will actually cause physical harm to you. Stress is like the most toxic thing for your body. We say that all the time. But I think that like a lot of us, instead of learning the lessons, will look back, Five of Cups energy, look back and be like, man, I could have done things differently. Man, if only I had that conversation with that person earlier, I wouldn't be here today. But that energy is just going to cause you more harm than good, right? Regret, sorrow, shoulda, woulda, coulda will just cause you more harm than good. So instead of feeling bad about the past, look at what you have now and realize how far you've come. And also that the control is within you. You have the control to make the changes now. Okay, guys, I'm gonna get on out of here. This was just a short little check-in because I couldn't do my normal live. So I'll be back Sunday to do the normal rotation. I'll see y'all later. Bye.